Have you experienced the Comet Mania at this moment? That is because at this moment, from the social media and the news, a lot of people talk about the comet. And if you are interested about how astrologer interpret the comet, please go to find this book, Comet in Astrology. Okay, it's my book and published this year. And I spent 12 years to research about comet. So if you are interested about how astrologer interpret the comet, go to Amazon or websites of astrologer to find your comet. But today, in today's special podcast, I'm going to share some comet information in astrology and also in observation. So let me share my so this month we have three comets that keep drawing our attention in the sky. The first, of course, is the famous interstellar comet, Comet 3I. We've been talking about this comet for a long time because the reason is because it is an interstellar comet. It comes from outside of our solar system, so that is a bit interesting, very unusual. So far, we have only three interstellar objects pass us. We noticed that. Well, the three I, so-called three I, the third interstellar. So this comet drew our attention. But also, I think some scholar talking about this comet could be, maybe not a comet but a UFO. Last month, in my podcast, I talked about it, and today I'm going to repeat, but I will give you the more detail. Another comet I interested more is the comet Lemon. This comet could be visible. For astrologer, this is more important, and I think it become visible from 10th of October. So for astrologer, we should spend more time to study this comet. Another comet called Comet Swan, and it maybe become visible because it wasn't that bright until last month, and its magnitude and brightness keep increasing. So we may be able to see it with our naked eye around the end of October and early November. So I also put my interpretation in today's presentation. So let's begin. Well, let's begin with the three I. Okay, three I Atlas. It also knows C/2025 N1. This is the destination number for the comets. Um, it was discovered on the 1st of July and at 2 degree Capricorn. This is, as for astrologer, this is important. The first time comet being seen, it's a sign, and its degree usually become very important in the ancient astrology technique. But although today we discover it first, so I think this discovered degree become important. Okay, and also on the solar eclipse on the 21st of September, Comet 3I was at 12 degrees Scorpio. Okay, and also it will pass on the perihelion on the 29th October at 23 Libra. Well, I have to declare that I don't usually focus on comet that we cannot see with our eye because I follow the traditional method. That means I only study comet that we can see with our naked eye. It has meaning. The reason I'm doing this because we know there are tens of thousands comet in the sky all the time. So, like for example, you can still study comets Halley's. You can still study like a helipop. It's still in the sky, but we cannot see it. So I only study comet when it becomes visible. However, this is the third interstellar comet. Maybe it has some significance for us. For example, my dear teacher Melanie Reinhardt, who is the expert, studied the Chiron and also comet, who inspired me with my study. She exchanged email with me. She thinks three eyes very interesting because it sounds like a third eye in the third eye chakra. I was like, wow, that is so interesting. Three eye with a third eye. So she think this comet maybe bring us an insight or see something true. Thank you, Melanie, for this insight. Okay. Here I include the three-eye atlas move from the in the sky. So in the beginning, it was discovered on the first of July, around the Ophiuchus, between the Ophiuchus and the Sagittarius constellation, and it gradually moved. At this moment, it is very close to ecliptic. It is very close to ecliptic. Okay, and it around the constellation Virgo, and also I think it's also not only close to the for next week, it's very close to the Sun and the Spica, and it will continue move. So that's the reason why comet is important at this moment. Why? Some astronomer talking about this comet say its movement and its trajectory is very weird. Okay, I'm not specialist for that, and it is interesting to think about that. I'm open to the possibility. There is a possibility. Why not to listen to it? Okay, I have no position to say that's right or wrong. But why I think there is a possibility? Hey, from the astrological view, we have Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius, the sign suggests anything in the sky, anything in the sky, space. So Pluto, the fear or worry or discovery of or something invisible in the sky draw our attention. That's one of the meaning of the Pluto in Aquarius. So keep our mind open and to admit that there's not a lot of things that we don't understand. So it could be a comet, it could be an object. However, as an astrologer, this is something worth us to pay attention, okay? Well, the discovery chart usually can tell us important message for us. So I drew the discovery chart for Comet 3I. It was discovered in Chile on the 1st of July. Okay, on the 1st of July. So let's check the chart. It is very interesting. On the day of discovery, we have the Sun conjunct Jupiter. Okay, we have Sun conjunct Jupiter. Okay, so it would expand our view. It will expand. It may suggest expansion of our view. Another significant thing is the Venus. Have you noticed Venus? Venus is located at Algol. Venus is located at Algol. So Venus located at the Algol at a 26-degree Taurus, and it's not far from Uranus, the outer space comet that surprising us, that causes some fear or astonish visiting, especially if we notice on the moment of discovery, Venus was a ruler of a seventh house. Okay, if we take the first house as us in the Earth, then the seventh house could be the visitor. Well, I'm not sure is this visitor good or bad if there is a organic form, life form. I would say it can surprise us, it can scare us, and that we are not sure. It could be something very eccentric, and also, I don't really want to say it has a good intention if it is an, you know, organic or life form come from the another space. Okay. However, we don't know is it a comet or something else. From this view, well, I would say the indication of this chart suggests it expands our horizon, our view, our vision. Another way, it causes some panic. It could be as it located at the second house, financial wise. Okay, and we already see the turbulence of the financial market at this moment, and that this comet does suggest that. Okay, and also maybe some resource, food, okay, concern related to this area. On this chart, Comet was at 2 degree Capricorn. 2 degree Capricorn was right opposite the sun, right opposite the sun and the Jupiter. So it could be a awakening or an observation or a challenge toward to the sun and the Jupiter. Could be the elite class who control the media, the third house, or the traffic system. Okay, so it makes us aware about the news we read, the message we use, the communication, the telephone company, WhatsApp, iMessenger, Facebook, all these kind of things are controlling us. And it could be a interesting, or maybe there is some breakthrough through the so-called, the media world. Okay, because not only the ninth house cusp is Sagittarius and Jupiter ruler Sagittarius in the third house from about messenger, about messaging, about the communication. The ninth house is about media. And when comets opposite it, it may be cause some friction or some shocking news that make us, aware about it. So from the discovery chart, if you ask me, I would say this comet doesn't look very friendly. Well, if it is really a, you know, interstellar, if it is not a interstellar comet, but a something else that could, but we should be alert, okay? But however, it could be just a comet, okay? It could be just a comet. So if we read it in that way, then we read the sign, it suggests that maybe more financial impact to us and also food resource that we should pay attention, and also the media, social media, communication, and the traffic. Okay, this is my interpretation. How do you read this chart? Please leave a message. I'm curious about how my colleagues, how my friend thinking about this chart. Does it suggest an alien coming up? Or does it suggest some bad thing happen? Please leave a message. I would like to, have some discussion with you. Okay. So, what I think is very important, it discovered at a 2 degree Capricorn. Capricorn as the Earth element sign and the cardinal sign. Important position is it located at the world axis. I know it is not visible, but if this is a visible comet, if this is a visible comet and discovery at 2 degree Capricorn, then I would say it will have a significant impact on the social, political, government, economic, and financial market. Another way to read it, usually we read it perihelion position. On the 29th of October, it will locate at 23 degree Libra, aligned with Spica and Arcturus. Well, these two bright stars usually auspicious, and it talking about the transformation and the great leader in a transition period. But it is also for the Libra, we can talk about the social justice, fairness, relationship, maybe some important relationship fallout or build up, unusual relationship, someone being released from relationship, someone being released from their marriage, or someone being released because of social justice. Okay, this is how I read it. And what do you think? So, in my book, I'm talking about the sensitive degree of comet, the comet being discovery, or where, in what degree comet become a naked eye object. When does it closely ecliptic, or the celestial equator, and the perihelion degree, or the degree comet conjunct with planet. I usually say align. So when in the later presentation, if you hear I say align, that means conjunct. Okay. Now, let us focus on comet lemon, or some people call it comet lemon. Okay, sounds like lemon. Okay, quite cute. Okay, this comet is a non-periodic comet, and it was discovered on the 3rd of January 2025 at 27-degree Cancer. And its perihelion will be on the 8th of November at 13 degrees Sagittarius. Sounds like, okay, nothing really drew our attention at this moment for these two locations. Okay, it will pass the ecliptic on 23rd of November on the 19 degrees Sagittarius, and it will pass the celestial equator at 6 degrees Sagittarius. However, more interesting because I keep an eye on this comet because it is a comet that we know it will become visible. So there is an important meaning for astrologer. That's why I've more focused on this comet for months. I studied this comet. And also, I also take a chance to go outside to see the comet and to take a photo. Unfortunately, this year in London, at this moment, the weather was that bad, so I really couldn't take a lot of a photo of this comet. However, I did get a snapshot. Okay, but there's a report on 10th of October. The report to say, they see the comet with naked eye. Okay, at this moment. When you see this comet, it's still dim, but it can be seen with naked eye as a star, as a light dot. You probably cannot see detail, but if you use telescope and the binocular, you may be able to see the tiny tail. However, it become a star that we can see, a light dot. So I use this time is I think it's around the 1 a.m. UT. So at that time, comets located at 29-degree Leo. On that day when I share this news, a dear friend, my dear friend already said, "Oh, that is the Trump's ascendant." That is pretty interesting. Okay, we usually will pay attention first if it was discovered at Cancer degree, Cancer. So we will think about the Cancer theme, you know, house, home, family, land, water, ocean. And then it can be seen at 29-degree Leo. Okay, few things. 29-degree Leo, okay, it is a Leo is a fire sign, so could be war, could be slaughter, could be riots, could be fired, wildfired. Okay, especially you know in the North Hemisphere now is the autumn, so we are not going to see a lot of wildfire. But for the South Hemisphere, we should pay a little bit more attention because the comet first to be seen at the fireside Leo. Second, most of you probably already know what I'm going to talk. 29-degree Leo is very close to the fixed star Regulus. So it aligns with Regulus. It definitely going to have an impact to the world leader. Well, to be honest, during that time, we just lost a very, very famous scholar, Jangold, who studied the chimpanzees and a lot of contribute to our ecology and study. And one of her wish was send someone to outer space. All right. That could be. I wish Comet help her to make her wish come true. All right. So here are the zodiac sign that Comet will pass. So on the 10th of October, the comet can be seen. It was at the last degree of Leo. And from that day until the 17th of October, this week, we have Comet still in Virgo. And from 17th to 22nd, Comet will be around the Libra. This would be the time, next week would be the time we can see Comet brightly with our naked eye if you go to countryside. And then toward the end, 22nd of October, 23rd of October, it will be in Scorpio. And then from 30 to the 30 November, it will be in Sagittarius. This would be the comet quite bright first, could be magnitude 3, and that can be seen in the south hemisphere from this time, end of October to the November. Okay. So these are the comet degree that we should pay attention, and the Leo would be the fire sign, would be with war, riot, fire. Virgo would be agriculture, okay, industrial, and also, maybe um, financial market. With Libra, we already mentioned about it as we talk about three I. That's the justice system, diplomat, and the marriage relationship. Scorpio could be the crisis and also struggling. Well, could be, some something related to secret. Sagittarius, again, is a fire sign related to fire and the war, riots, especially at this time. Comet will pass the celestial equator and bring the impact to the south hemisphere. So south hemisphere, it would be the spring to summer. So should be aware about the large impact of the wildfire during that time. So here we can see if we check the comet, the path at this moment. Presumably, we say it can be seen until the end of November. So at this moment, it moved from the Ursa Major, okay, to the hunting dog, and then around this time, it moved around the Boots. Okay, the constellation Boots is its image is a leader leading the transition, leader leading the transition period. Okay, as we already talked about the comet, so this could be, important. And then it will go to serpent, then that could be drug, medicine, illness, epidemic, pandemic, and then go to Ophiuchus for a lot of time. The comet can be seen around the Ophiuchus constellation. This related to medicine, disease, medicine, life and death struggle, or balance of life. Balance of life. More likely, we should pay attention in hospital, disease, epidemic, and the pandemic. I'm not going to exaggerate it, but this is how we read the comet's influence. And then later it will go to Scorpio. That could be again the crisis and the life death situation or discovery or scandal. Okay. So also if we study the comet, we will see like on the 19th of October, uh, on a Sunday, I think comet will align with Venus at the 7-degree Libra. If you have this is an interesting degree because um, we know the 7 degree of cardinal sign are usually going to have an impact to a lot of different countries' chart. Okay, so pay attention. 29-degree October, it will align with Mars at 26 Scorpio, and on the 31st, it will align Mercury with the first Sagittarius. If you have those degree, pay attention. Now, ancient astrologer, they don't really study comet in every degree, but they do take comet seriously in the new moon and the full moon chart. Dear friend, Wade Caves mentioned about this could be because the ancient astrologer prefer to use the new moon or full moon chart because we have the exact ascendant and house division. So when we start the some certain like planetary movement, planetary ingress, or great conjunction, usually we are focused on the new moon or full moon around that time. Very interesting if I use London, the full moon before comet can be seen was on the 7th of October. This full moon was at a 14-degree Aries, was at 14-degree Aries, and the ascendant is 17-degree Virgo. 17-degree Virgo, we have Venus and Virgo in the first house. Well, let me just say, on this day, Comet is at 22-degree Leo, right on the 12th house cusps. So, I think this autumn and the winter, if there is not a another huge impact of any kind of virus, epidemic, then we should be aware about maybe the flu. Many people may get sick, cold sick, okay? So that's the most light impact that I can see. And we also have this comet is trying Chiron. Well, that could be also, in the eighth house. So it could be bring some mm, crisis news, especially for the United Kingdom. So what you can do is you draw the full moon chart on the 7th of October from your location or from the capital of your country. And then you try to find out which house the 22-degree Leo located. Then you can explain how comet going to have an impact in your country or the area you live. For me, for UK, this comet going to have a huge impact in the 12th house, the prison, hospital, secret enemy. And yet, very interesting. Do you know at this moment in the United Kingdom's politician news what we argue about? The MI5 head just talking about China is constantly spying in UK is a great threat. And second things, the government has to drop the court case of spying two people spying for China, but eventually they have to drop this case because the identity, the definition of the enemy wasn't that clear. Is that 12 house enough? What do you think? And how does this comet locate in the full moon chart in your location? Please share with me, okay? Coming up new moon would be 21st October on Tuesday. Comet will at 22-degree Libra. For UK, this is in ninth house. So this could be university, could be cultural influence, could be publication, could be social media. Okay. And the 22-degree Libra here, well, I think is sextile Jupiter. It is sextile Jupiter, not really conjunct. Well, it's not far, to be honest. It's not far from the new moon. So I will say, um, it is an important position that because it's very close to the sun and moon, the country leader, the people are going to receive the impact, and it opposite the Chiron again. So pay attention about it. Okay, now we have the next full moon comet at 11 degrees Sagittarius. Okay, it's in 10th house again. It indicates UK government will face the huge impact. Okay, if this align with the uh, planet, then that will become even more important. The last one I'm going to suggest with 20 of November, comet will be 18 degrees Sagittarius. For UK is in the uh, first house. Okay, for you, and it is not far from the Mars. Well, I think it is far enough. 7 degrees far enough. I can still consider the impact of the comet align with Mars during this time. Then that means war. Okay, that means war and the slaughter or the riots or maybe some fire or I don't know large scale injury. Okay, that could be considered. But hey, how does this new moon look in your country, in your location? And where does the 18-degree Sagittarius locate for the previous new moon, full moon? You can do the same to see this is how ancient astrologer interpret the comet's influence or predict comet's influence, especially like Tycho Brahe. He does this, okay? So it is interesting if you are into the traditional astrology way to interpret the comet, note down all this degree and draw the chart for your location and see how does comet will bring the impact in what area for UK, most likely government, okay, the government and the publication and maybe the traveling relationship with foreign country or maybe airspace or maybe the long what should we say? A long haul flight or okay, the airplane with or overseas travel. That should be the issue that people living in UK should pay attention. Okay. Now, finally, I'm going to talk about the Comet Swan. Its destination number is the C/2025 R2. It is another non-periodic comet. As I say, in the beginning, we didn't pay any attention about this comet unless you are a comet maniac like me. However, that this comet is gradually get brighter and that we may be able going to see it next week too. So we will have two comets in the sky next week, and maybe we are going to see both of them with our naked eye. So let's say the degree of this comet, it was discovered the day after this comet passed the perihelion. So it was discovered at 18 degree Libra, and the perihelion was 19 degree Libra. It passed the ecliptic at 28 September at 8 Scorpio. During this time, this comet wasn't visible, but it will pass the celestial equator around the 3rd of November, 10 a.m., around 6 Pisces. So 18 Libra, 19 Libra, 8 Scorpio, 6 Pisces could become the sensitive degree for this comet if this comet becomes visible. So far, we haven't received any report this comet can be seen by naked eye, but it is already reached the magnitude that can be observed by the naked eye. So keep an eye in the sky. You may be going to see this comet. Okay, this comet's orbit between 15 October to 17 October is in Sagittarius, so this leading to fire element and the potential war, riot, and the slaughter or big fire. But we should be okay with it because I'm sure we haven't seen this comet with our naked eye yet. But the onward, the comet is in Capricorn until 23rd of October. This related to large organization, government, bank, and also the structure of the world. The 23rd October to 1st November, comet is located Aquarius. So technology, human right, or maybe outer space. If comet can be visible between the 1st November to the 22nd November, it will be Pisces. Then it could be the issue related to ocean, related to kindness, related to our dream and our vision. And well, when we talk about the comet's position, okay, I make a mistake. Let me correct it. Comet on the 24th of October, Comet will align with Pluto, and on the 17th of November, Comet will align with Saturn, and then on the 23rd November, Comet will align with Neptune. Okay, so this is the comet things we can see during this time, and let me show you the comet's move. So this is the comet Swan's move. It was moved from the here, okay, Ophiuchus Again, very interesting, right? And to Saturn, and to the Aquila, the eagle, and then go to Aquarius. Okay, this is the comet's movement around the ecliptic. Have you seen it fly parallel with the ecliptic? And have you noticed in last podcast I say it is very weird because Comet 3i is go another direction. Okay, Comet 3i is go from here to here, and the parallel with this comet. So I would say this is so weird. That is so weird. Well, the only things I can say is if it become visible, if this comet swarm become visible next week, then we should consider the new moon of the 21st of the October. It was at 18-degree Capricorn. But that would be important degree, and also the Capricorn present the government, large organization, banking, or we should pay a little bit attention about it, okay? And for UK's the first house is going to have an impact to everyone, okay? So ask yourself, draw a chart of a 21st of October new moon for your location, for your country capital, and see where does this 18-degree Capricorn located. Then you can make a forecast for your country. All right. So this is what I'm going to share with you today. If you're interested in how I delineate comet, don't forget, go to get this copy of Comets in Astrology from Amazon, from V6 Astrologer, okay? Step by step, I will lead you to understand how astrologer interpret the comet. All right, well, see you next week. Bye-bye.